Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Bob Randyl and Company. Well, wait a minute.
Oh, I fooled you again. It's not Mike. It's not Bob. What can I say?
Everybody say hello to Scott. Bob's feeling a little under the weather today, so Scott's filling in for Bob on this 28th episode of the third season, August 26th. How you doing, Scott? How are you?
I'm doing great. Just in the blistery Oklahoma at 95 degrees. It's better than the triple digits, so I can't really complain. How about you up there?
Actually, we got up to 91 today, so it got a little thick and muggy, but last week it felt like fall, but today it's right back to summer, which is fine. I was outside Friday and Saturday. It was beautiful. Just getting Saturday up to the upper 80s, doing balloons for 5 hours on Saturday. So it got a little warm outside on Saturday, but hey, nothing better than having fun with the little ones,
Absolutely. And my grass is still growing like crazy, and we haven't had any rain. I'm wondering what's causing this. You'd think with no rain, it'd stay a little more docile, but we have rain coming this weekend. So storms coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll try to get it knocked out in the morning and when it's cool. And
well, that's what I do. I've been mowing the lawn at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and mine's been growing like crazy up here too. It's just been really, even though we've been getting a little bit of rain, it's every week, and it's just so thick this year. Looks nice.
And no pun intended. It seems like it's never ending.
No, where does it all come from? Where does it all come from? I don't know. Yeah. Where does it all come from?
It's a mess.
It's great. Can you believe it?
And let's say hello to Angela and thank her. We appreciate her. We couldn't do this without her. So everybody send Angela a little message out there and say hello to her. Thank you, Angela, for being here for us.
Yeah, say hi to Angie. And, of course, send some thoughts to Bob. He's not feeling very good. He's not feeling good. A little under the weather, so we want to make sure Bob's okay. They had, again, congratulations to Bob and Carol yesterday. I think it was the 25th was yesterday, wasn't it? For their 50th wedding anniversary was yesterday. So
absolutely.
Congratulations to them both. I gotta.
It's a long time to be with the same person. And I feel just as in love today as they were 50 years ago, I think.
That's wonderful. I mean, that is so nice to see. I mean, I go to the church I've been going to. I sit right behind this couple. A month ago, they had on the screen, they did 66 years.
Wow.
66 years. And we sit right behind them, and we do a little meet and greet in the middle of the service, say hello to everybody. And they make sure they give each other a nice little kiss before they greet everybody. And it's so sweet to know that there's that many people out there that still, after all them years, have a wonderful relationship like Bob and Carol. It's beautiful, guys. I got to give you a round of applause. And
I think I know what it is. Bob learned early who the boss was.
Yep.
And that's probably the key to most of it. So I'm still learning.
I don't think I ever learned. I'm telling you, my wife was. We won't.
Anyhow.
Oh my goodness, we got some great people joining us already today. I can't believe what a great group of people. Deborah's here. Deborah Shepard. We'll go down a quick list here. Let me start out way up to top. Ernie's here. Mike Hutchins is here. Good old Phineas. Charlie's here. Santa Chris. Santa Chris is going to be the guest speaker on Thursday night Magical Fellowship for Mel on Thursday.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Chris is going to do that. Santa Chris. Deborah, Chris. Bill Coates is here. Paul Anderson. Diana Vin. I finally got Vin or Vin. I'll mess it up again, Diane. I know I will. Everett, good to see everybody. Come in. I'm so glad you're here, guys. So glad you're here. And of course, we're going to do now.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, Scott said he's getting hungry. And this is always Bob's favorite part. He loves this part of the show. And so do we, because we get such great people helping us out here. Everybody that's joining us give us great input. So I guess we got to run that burger. Something burger. I'm sorry. I laugh every time I look at that thing. I can't believe I found that on a clip art thing and made that up on it. I wanted to get a new one this year, but I couldn't change it because it's just so obnoxious.
Well, but actually, when you're hungry, it looks pretty good.
Again, we have
two meals or 3 meals, but it looked good.
It's going to be a few meals and a lot of napkins and a lot of napkins.
Oh, a whole lot of
a whole lot of napkins. Oh my goodness. So as usual, we got 2 questions. One is Bob's, one's mine. Usually I go first, but since Scott's our guest host, we're going to have Scott go first now. So Scott, if you want to read, actually it's Bob's question, but
sure.
Scott, if you want to go first, it could be great. Thank you.
All right. When considering going to an event such as a convention, class school, or even an educational cruise or retreat where there is a retainer/deposit asked for upon registration, would you say this has no bearing on signing sooner or wait until just before registration deadline?
Wow. I guess it depends upon how if you can get a deposit is refundable, retainer or not refundable. So it's actually 2 different things.
Right. Let's say retainer.
Yeah. Okay.
Santa Family Reunion in Gatlinburg is asking for a retainer, as well as Cornerstones. I know those 2 are. And I think more is being terms that way. But there's a clause to get out of that. But
no pun intended.
Well, there's a date. A deadline, I think, to get out of all of them. But there's always some, but the thing about it is we have a tendency to sign up at the last minute. And I think that what a lot of folks don't realize is there's only so many seats. And if you wait till the last minute, there won't be. If you throw your name in the hat and throw the retainer in there, at least you've got a seat reserved.
Yeah, I think if like Scott's made a comment about the retainer, I think it's a good idea. If there is a, that date where the cutoff is, well, you can't change your mind if it's 60 days before or 30, whatever it is, then that. So you put the money in, like Scott says, so you get your seat and you don't miss out. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, and the other thing is that that lets the event planner or the school host know that you're serious and you've got some skin in the game. You're not just saying, yeah, we want to go, it sounds good, and then at the last minute, then you're making a count for 50 people and, you end up with 35 or 40 because they had no skin in the game. So right. That's just my opinion. So it is what it is. And I think that's what we're going to see more and more of the schools going to.
I think it's nice to get a little thing up front. Just hasn't got to be, a big part, just something to put a little bit to know, like you said, if it's going to be 25 or 30 or 50 or 75, whatever it might be, get a little, and then that deadline isn't waiting until the last minute. Well, we're going to be short, but I'm sure our helpers here have a great list of ideas.
Well, Diane wants me to read it again, so I'm going to read it again. When considering going to an event such as a convention, class school, or even an educational cruise or retreat where there's a retainer asked for upon registration, would you say that has no bearing on signing sooner or waiting until just before the registration deadline?
I mean, let's say you want to go on a cruise to Hawaii or a Disney cruise, you have to put money up front. You have to. Yeah. So if you go on a cruise for a Santa convention, it's the same thing. Or I know any magic convention, same way. You put up a dollar amount at one, they would ask it for. I know the International Brotherhood of Magicians. If you would go to the convention, let's say it's usually in July, they ask people to put the deposit down for the following year already, right there. If you want to sign up right then and there to put your deposit down there, and quite a few people will do that.
And Spangle wants skin in the game, and he gives you a discount on his regular price by signing up. I think within 30 days or something. Don't hold me to that, but I know so it's basically the same thing. you put a deposit down or retainer or you know, we have to be so careful on what we call those things. So the answer, Mike Hutchins, depends on who the speakers and the lecturers are. Well, Mike, I'll be there at Cornerstone, so make sure I see you there, and I'll also be in Gatlinburg, but I won't be lecturing or speaking at either one. But come on.
I know Mike had a great time last year when he was down in North.
Oh, he was so much fun.
Yeah, he had a great time. He's
Everett Prostello says this helps the event gauge the amount of food, event space, vendors, etc. You're absolutely right, Everett. It does. You know, we have to tell the caterers exactly how many are coming, or we have to be close, or else it actually costs us. So, you know, most all the schools I've done, we have not made money. I mean, our services were free. We made nothing, and we break even if we're lucky. Sometimes we have to kick in, you know, a couple $100, but we try to be exactly there. If we had to pay somebody to do everything, just like Spangle, if he had to pay everybody to come in from outside to do all the stuff that's done in his school, or at Cornerstones, if we had to pay somebody to bring everything in and put everything in there, it'd be another $12, $15, $17, $18,000. And we're just fortunate that we have people on the team that have a lot of this and can make it happen. Diane said, it does not make a difference if a retainer is asked for or not. I will tend to sign up earlier if I sign up early for a discount fee. That's an interesting concept. So that if they sign up early, they get a little bit of a break on it, is what she's saying. The retainer doesn't, you know, affect it. Doug, you want to read Doug's there, Randall?
let me get this. It's easier to read it out here.
I got it.
Go ahead.
If I'm going to go and feel the school is worth the cost, I pay it all up front, not into retainers. Awesome.
That's great if you can do it all.
Goes towards it as well, but yeah.
Yeah. That's great if you can pay it all up at one time. And a lot of us will keep a certain amount of money from the holiday season, put it aside. No, that's for schooling. So if you got it there, it's you got it there. So
right. And Mike said precisely this. I usually pay the full price once I have an understanding of what will be taught and who is teaching. Well, I'm safe then, Mike, I guess. It's Santa Chris says it's sometimes hard to come up with all the money up front. Nice to be able to lock in with a deposit or a retainer, right?
Yeah, see, it's also, you know, Chris says we don't always have that $1,000, or I mean, you go to Charles W. Howard, that's $1,000. If you can make payments or at least split it up to 3 or whatever, it's a good thing to be able to do.
And you know, my hat's off to Spangle the way he does his. He has a card, and he passes them out during class, and it shows you the discount for the early registration. And you call Tanya, and you got that card, and your name's on it, and it goes right in there, and you just do what you need to do. So Spangle's he's one to learn from for sure.
Yeah, he's got that School of Senate down to a science. A lot of work that he gets everybody helping, but man, that's a heck of a nonstop. I mean, there isn't time to take a little snooze and a shower in between there. Sometimes
you know, you gotta love him for it. But Daniel Pless says hello, Randall Scott and Angela Mack. But you gotta love him for it. You know, I got there last year on Sunday, thinking, well, I'll pull in Sunday about noon, and nobody's there, so I can go to the room and get settled in and kick back. And next thing I know is here's Spangle with that big trailer, you know, and then, you know, he wants to be accommodating and take care of everybody and entertain them. And he's got, you know, he had Queen Esther one night, and all this all the way up to when the school started for the people coming and helping, or the people that came in early. And for me, you know, I just soon on Thursday or Thursday when it started, then I'm ready to go to work. But give me the first 2 or 3 days as a break. You know, But some of the shows I enjoy. You know, I just don't. I don't want to be. I don't want to be scheduled the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Just you got to rest a little bit when you're driving. You know, 5-6 hours pulling a moose of a trailer. So, and I camped 3 nights before that.
Wow.
With my kids. So
that'll make it tired.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, Doug's got something there. Go ahead.
Doug Wright says Randyl is right. Budget your funds from the past season to include costs for a school or new outfit. Where did it go? Oh, and or anything else that comes up during the upcoming year. You're right, Doug. That's true. AJ says Spangle School is awesome. I am attending family reunion and maybe SOS next year. My parents' budget is low. It's one or the other.
I mean,
that's normal, AJ. You know, not everybody goes to every school. You know, some of us go and don't have a choice. We're voluntold. So, you know, but and you know, it costs us all money. It takes away from, you know, sometimes doing some of these schools and helping. You don't always get to buy that new suit every year. So, but we got anything else? Hi, Santa Cruz.
If we got anything on, I'm only looking on Facebook. I don't have YouTube or anything like that to look on.
Santa Joe, the Bob Randall and Company live preview show. Randall, do you want to do a Zoom call one day?
We'll see what we can work out there. We'll see what we can get it together. It's been
Santa Joe, that was.
Yeah, Santa Joe. See what we can come up with.
Hello, Bill. Thanks for watching. That came from, I think, Angela.
Yeah, great guys. Great.
Oh,
yeah,
not Angela. That was Bill Coates. I can see the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And Facebook. Okay, well, anybody have anything else to go to that?
It's pretty much that. I think people would be. It kind of breaks down to some of them saying depends upon who's there as the key speaker and everything like that. If they're going to get their money in right away to make sure they don't miss out. And some of the schools now are some like North Pole is coming up with such more unique teaching that it's really good to get your money in for that, because it's not just sit in class and listen to read it out of book. It's participating, and that's where it's
no PowerPoint, death by PowerPoint. There's no death by PowerPoint for sure.
Yeah,
that'll do it. A lot of that, you know.
That'll do it. That'll happen.
It's we want at Cornerstones. We want hands-on. We want you to get with your peers in a smaller group setting, and you get comfortable with each other and trust each other, and you're not afraid to do the activities. And some of them this year are really different, and they're going to be fun. So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. So that's, you know, how it is.
I got a cat here that I'd like to put in the bag, but that's another story altogether. I got scars to prove I want to put the cat in the bag.
Yeah, well, those too.
Well, that's great, guys. Very good. Very good. I will. Are you ready for number 2 here, Scott?
Yeah.
I know you got answers for this one here.
Go for it, Randall.
All righty, guys. During any of your photo time, doesn't matter if it's with a photographer or if it's with if it's at a big box store or at a home visit, it doesn't really matter. This could be anything. Do you have the child sit on your lap, your knee, or stand? And how do you handle this, and what do you prefer? So when the children come up to visit, is it knee, lap, stand?
It's an excellent question, because from my side, you have 2 ways to look at it. I usually myself try to read the child. Are they comfortable with me? Some of them come right up and hop right up on the knee and they're done. I mean, you don't even have time to talk to them really until they get there. And the other side of it is depends on their age. And I usually will ask, do you want to sit or stand? I don't put anybody on my lap. They're either on my knee, or if they're an infant, they're in my arm with their feet in my hand. And their head sits right here and their bottom sits right in the crease of my arm. That's what I found is the easiest way with small ones. And I can hold 2 of them. If they stand up, I just move my hands down because they're just stretching. They're not going anywhere. I've got them in my crease of my arm. So that's my take on it. I don't know what everybody else does, but I would prefer they either sit on my knee or stand. The older ones, my chairs have big arms on them and they're 2x6s. I can put a 300 or 400 pound man on either arm. So the kids will pop up on there. If it's a screaming child having a fit that's scared, traumatized, I tell mom, hey mom, you haven't had a picture with me in a while either. So come on, y'all both sit right here beside me and let's get a really good picture and let's see if we can get your child to laugh.
Yeah, see, I love family pictures like that when you get mom and dad into them too. Hi, Mitch. Good to see you. Paul's here. Yeah, I agree. And we're going to get this from one of the people there too. Our guest is pretty much a child's choice. A lot of them are apprehensive, and seems like I've been able to get more smiles or easier smiles if a young lady stands and she got this pretty dress on and she's showing her pretty dress and you can see pretty much all of it instead of worrying about make sure the legs are sitting properly on your knee even. But let the child be comfortable because that's what will make to me also the picture better. If they feel comfortable with how they're sitting or standing next to Santa. We things changed a lot in some of the big box stores about sitting because of the distance stuff. So a lot of children got used to standing or sitting on a bench near or whatever. It could be at the very, very tip of the knee or stand is what I prefer. I just noticed it. You have less, at least I have less apprehensive children that way.
Yeah, Santa, Mitch Allen said knee just sounds better than lap.
Yeah, lap sounds a little too like, and I don't mean to say this way, but it sounds a little creepy. Yet, but that's been the word we've used.
Well, that's the old word. Now
that's the old word. Yeah,
because these parents, this generation, X and millennials and the Z's are all weird.
And sometimes if you have a child way up there, you kind of have to hold them.
Right.
And that's not good. You want to have your jazz hands anyway.
Right.
So because if they're up there too, because most of our pants, the wool suits aren't as slippery, but some of the other materials, they're very slippery. So you have to hold the child. So it's better if they're just kind of even lean against your knee, or like I said, I just love them to stand because then we don't have to worry about anything looking funny the way the boy's sitting with his legs across your knee or the young lady. She can look very ladylike. So, but let's see what we've got here. I guess we got a lot going on.
Anderson says the child's choice. Ernie Russo, I guess that's how you say that.
Yep.
Whatever the child prefers to do. Daniel Pless is knee or stand or sit next to me. If your chair's big enough, that works for sure.
I love those chairs that have those big arms. Get that child up there, and then they're face to face with you. A good sized child. They're not. That's
why I put the infant's head here.
Yeah.
And let them sit there because their face is closer to mine, and I find it makes a better picture. Bill Coates, if the child is able to answer, I will always ask what the child and parent want. Daniel Pless, child's choice. Mike Hutchins, whichever the child prefers, sit on the knee, arm of the chair, stand, let mom and dad hold the child standing around or in front of Santa. And I do a lot of shots, Mike, like that with the child standing in front of me, and I'll have both hands maybe on their shoulders or something. The one thing that I, now that you're talking about this, that I don't like is when the photographer looks at the parent and says, drop and go, drop and run. They're doing that because that child, they're not sure what that child's going to do. And that can be traumatizing to that child. So I asked the parent to have the child facing them, and they walk to me, backing the child back up into me, and gently set the child in my arms and then move quickly. And the photographer has to be ready. So you've got to be working with that photographer to get that shot because you've got, 3 seconds?
Maybe 3 seconds. Just for that. Bingo. Yeah. But, yeah, you have to distract. I always get, if you're doing a place where they can do this, is you have somebody, a grandparent or doesn't matter, tell them to hoot and holler, jump up and down, act silly, whatever. So that child's looking that way, and then they slowly back up, drop, and get off, and mom or dad jump out of the way quick, get that picture. But you
And then
got to
come back
also
and
have
get
it
the child.
choreographed.
The child's fine. If
Yeah,
the
you
child
have to get it
doesn't have a
choreographed
fit,
with your photographer that
visit with
they've ready.
if the child doesn't have a fit, I try to visit with them, a little bit. But
Oh yeah, well that's always.
Charlie Johnson, let's see, which one was the last one?
We got to go back to Mike.
Oh.
Whatever. Oops.
Mike Hutchins said, Dad, okay. Doug writes the next one.
Okay.
I prefer the right knee, and I place my hand in a very visible locations, their shoulder or around the waist, to make sure they don't wiggle off. If they want to stand, I'm okay with that. Again, hands always visible. It is a very small baby, then I'll put them in my arm.
Right. That's the only ones you should really hold is a baby. Nobody should be having closed fingers around a body or around a waist. It's you don't want to have to use your liability insurance because a parent's suing you for touching your child the wrong way.
Well, and the funny thing about it, and I hate to go this direction, but Larry Talbert, as we know, is one of the people that make this happen, and he's researched all this stuff, and the insurance that we have for the big box stores, that molestation insurance is really not for you. It's for the employees that are there, and it protects you from the parent doing something to them. It doesn't protect you for anything. So you better hope there's a camera watching you or something. But I am always super over cautious to make sure both hands are out front all the time. And
it sometimes looks silly, but make sure you do it.
Well, and I like, some of those expressions where,
yeah.
So if I have a group, sometimes I'll throw my hands up, because they're all packed in here. If you got 6 or 7 of them, they're all packed in here. You don't have anywhere to stick your hands back out. So I just I'm here.
Yeah. It's just, okay, we've got Charlie says, whatever works best for the child and conforms to the policies of the event. And it's okay to sit on the knee, not my lap. And that's, and there's still some parents that have that, oh, you have to get that picture on a lap, have to get the picture on a lap. And there's some there, the old school that's still like that. Just slide them down a little bit further to the knee, not so close to the, to the lap part, I guess, even though it's only within 6 inches maybe, but it's a little further out's good.
I just stick them on my leg or, where I feel like they're not going to fall off, and I don't call it my lap. It's still my knee.
Your knee, yeah.
And I think that terminology has a lot to do with it. If we don't call it lap and we call it knee, and it's still basically the same place, and both hands are showing, it's I think that's it just goes back to deposit and retainer. It's terminology. So
yeah. So sometimes I'll say to the family, if I really want them to stand, because there's a few of them, I say to the parents, it's easier for me to hear the child if they're standing right here, and it really doesn't make any difference if they're on my lap or standing right there for me to hear, but it gives a thought process to the parent. Oh yeah, it makes it easier to tell Santa to hear you. Okay, we'll stand. So it's no different technically, but I'm just kind of leading how I would like them to be.
And you see that when they walk up, Randall. We when we have a child coming to us, we all analyze that child before it ever gets to us. So we got a pretty good idea what's going to happen.
We have to. Then we got Santa Chris next. Santa Chris says, I have a Santa bench without arms that works well for several children to sit with me when the client opts to use it. Okay. And those benches are the best thing that happened to me. That's the best thing that came out of COVID was benches for the children, or rocking chair on his side, or whatever. That's the best thing that came out of that when it comes to pictures, because that took also the apprehensive child and put them there, you get less crying. At least I've noticed less crying since then, because they're not forced to be on our knee or
Or
that
be
close
close
to
to
us.
us.
It gives that distance, even though you can still talk to them and get a great picture. I think it's great if you can sell or get them to do a bench all the time like that, Chris. That's a great thing to have. And it still makes a great picture. It really does. And so, I mean, I know people that have little rocking horses or little rocking chairs, or it's that it's themed to the your setting, which looks fantastic. But
And the other of the apprehensive child, now we're talking about where do they sit? I'll get out of the chair, let mom and dad talk to them and sit in the chair with them or whatever. And I'll just pop in and do a photo bomb right behind them. And usually those are great pictures too. So
yeah,
there's always an option for that reluctant child, or if you've got a group that you're kind of not sure about, you can put them all in the chair and get behind it with grandpa and grandma.
yeah, it's I love those shots where I'll stand behind the chair and a couple of children are on the chair and you're just standing because you still show off very well behind the chair.
Well,
Now,
unless you're Jeff McMullen and can't see over the chair.
well,
And
I'm
Jeff, I love you, brother.
I'm sure Jeff could find a stool, but
Right.
he can peek out the side,
Yeah.
you know. But
And
yeah,
that was the computer.
it's just so many things that can maybe um hopefully, I shouldn't say go wrong, but it's better to uh the watch, like we both said, very thing with the jazz hands, just watch those things. And that's I know it looks silly sometimes, but it's necessity the way the world is nowadays. And you can still get a wonderful picture. You can still get those smiles on the children's face. You can still talk to them and hear their hopes and dreams, and give them another year of belief just by making those few changes. If you don't feel comfortable, or
Right.
if you're not comfortable sitting way up on your lap or your knee, you can still, the experience is still memorable. So
Absolutely. Angela just rang in and said she apologizes and says hello to everybody. Her second computer won't come up. And if
oh,
she has missed a comment or a hello to everybody. And she just doesn't like, her other computer doesn't like Facebook, I guess.
they have a mind of their own, though, don't they? They really do. One of these times, I'm afraid they're going to take over the world.
Well, they already are working on it.
Yeah, isn't that what AI is, anyways? Kind of take over everything. Yeah, they want to drive your car for you. They want to, I mean, so I don't know if I could ever do that. Have a car where I can just sit back and take a nap and let it go. I don't trust that. I personally don't trust that. And these guys are always watching us. These computers. But
We can't hide with a phone now. They all know where we are. Well, hey, Randall, what do you think about a little trivia?
you know what? I think this is a good time. We've had some great input on the questions. Again, appreciated everybody, all your input. We are going to do some trivia, and we know Angela's going to run the SantaCloset.org.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by SantasCloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at SantasCloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Okay. You want to read the Christmas quotes?
Yeah, this is great. Bob has started this. Bob started this last week. A different type of a question. This is actually quotes from movies. Again, we have 2 movies, so we need 2 titles and the dates that these movies came out. That's what we need. Are you ready? The quotes are, I gotta make sure I'm gonna put this up so I can read it. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The second one is, just because I can't see it doesn't mean I can't believe it. Wow, those are very, very close lines. From 2 different movies, we need both movies for 1 and for number 2, the movie and the year they came out. So 2 movies and 2 dates, not just 1, 2. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, or just because I can't see it doesn't mean I can't believe it. 2 movies each year when they came out to the theaters. Cool idea. It's getting to be, of course, Hallmark, of course, did all month of July Christmas movies, and they're still playing them. Some now, they're still doing it. So it's a necessity to watch the movies over and over and over again. Speaking of over again, we can't miss it this time. Is of course what you were talking about, Talbot Insurance. That's a subtle hint.
And we couldn't do this without Larry and Talbot Insurance. So, Angela, go ahead and run that if you would.
I mean, throw you. Oh. Just take a few moments. If you don't have insurance, get a hold of Larry. He does all kinds of insurance, house, car, definitely performers insurance. And like Bob says all the time, it's so easy. What, 1 show, 2 shows, maybe it pays for your insurance. It's something that we really have to make sure that everything is because it can really devastate you almost if you lose everything like that. I mean, it can be a big, we talked about having an LLC last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. And so that's a different story altogether, but have that insurance. It doesn't cost that much money. We have it on our cars. We have it on our homes. Have it out there performing to make sure that, but Larry's got the answers. He found some loopholes in a lot of other insurances, so he jumped on top of that to make sure we're covered.
And he's a Santa as well. He's in the community as well. And the thing about what Larry offers you also covers your suits. And it covers if you're on a job and your suit gets damaged and you're not able to go and do the next one because you don't have a backup suit or you're out of town working, there's compensation there. And Larry can fill you in on all that. And if they ruin your suit or your suit gets ruined, that's part of your business. So there's that policy the policy I have with him actually covers that. And it's better than what, that my other policy was that I had. But if you're going to work in a big box store, they require that other, and Larry doesn't offer that. He offers, it's a performer's insurance, and it covers, you work out of your home, that's your office. So, it covers your suits at home and everything.
Yeah, so do that. Besides, Larry is a contributor here to Bob Randall and Company. Of course, Tuesday Night Live, the Kringle Time, and all the Tuesday Night Live things. So to make sure that we can keep all this stuff free to you guys. Larry's been a really asset to the
network.
Network that is not free technically. It's free to you guys because we give our time and it's out on YouTube and Facebook and every place else for you to watch for free and learn for free. But it still costs money to run this whole thing. And Larry's a contributor, and we thank Larry for that. And same with Santa Closet and everything else that's being a part of it. Spangle. So many people are really great contributors to
Wade and his
network going.
Closet, Wade and
Yeah.
Santa Closet for the Bob and Randall. I mean, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for him, we really, him and Larry, we really couldn't do this.
Yeah. So it's phenomenal. So,
And it's a whole nother thing for when Bob and I go on the road. It's a whole. So if we didn't love y'all and didn't love this, it wouldn't be happening.
it is, guys. It has to be a labor of love. It's got to be. Inspective labor of love. Let's go back to North Pole Cornerstones and love what love that is. That's going to be coming up, of course, right after the season ends, January 31st through September 2nd of 2025. And again, San Antonio, Texas. Bob, Scott, there's so many people involved. Of course, the ladies from Santa Ana University, Deanna and Judith, they're both a part of that. So many other great helpers to that different special school now. And you can register online. Go to npcornerstones.com/registration to register. So you can go and register now, get yourself in so they know. It was don't miss it. Then, of course, this year yes, there's still schools, lots of schools going on this year. Is Santa Ana Holiday University with Deanna and Judith. But this is in Phoenix, Arizona, or Scottsdale, Arizona, September 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th of 2024. A cool course. It really is. I had so much fun at the one I went to. It was a riot. It was a riot. You want to take Branson?
Sure. School of Santas in Branson, Missouri, in July 17th, 18th, 9th, and 20th of 2025. Keynote instructor is going to be the amazing Lee Andrews, and that's and their registration is open there. You just call Tanya Lay. Not sure what the number is off the top of my head, but you go to SOS School of Santa's website and it's all there. And I guess we should run the Elf and Chatterbox news.
We haven't been running that little clip much lately. We haven't been running that little. Yeah, we just been talking through it. We haven't been running that clip lately.
I failed to be on here then, don't I?
No problem. We can go to what's going on Tuesday Night Live. Tomorrow night.
All right. Well, August the 27th, tomorrow night, IBRBS newest officers, John McLeod. Is that McLeod? McLeod?
That's how I would pronounce it. I'm probably pronouncing it
wrong. And James
wrong,
Kelly with the special co-host, the one and only Deanna Golden.
Wow.
And she is part of Cornerstones, and these are some of her newest officers. We're looking forward to visiting and meeting with them and learning what they have new to bring to the IBRBS stage. And on September 3rd, celebrating our 150th show. Wow. Can you believe it's been that many, Randall?
I mean, it blows my mind to think that everybody, Angela, Bob, Carol, you, Spangle, and have put in that much time, that much effort, that long for 150 shows. And how many guests that have been on? How much knowledge, how many years of experience that people have listened to? It's mind-blowing to think, and it's all, and I'll joke about it again, but it's all for free. You guys got all these just amazing and 150 shows.
Well, our guest last week, if you think about it, on Tuesday night was Santa Jim Langley, a fellow Santa here in Oklahoma. He's been doing it since 1970.
That's crazy.
And did it through the military and everything else. So, he's got a doctorate in American history. He's got an engineering doctorate. I mean, there are Santas out there that we don't see. They all fly under the radar, and they're amazing, and we can learn so much from him. Jim will be speaking at Cornerstones, by the way, and he is full of knowledge. I mean, so, and he's invited me to go to the St. Nicholas Institute with him the past couple years, and now it's not happening this year. And he had asked me and set up where I was going to probably go with him. So I'm I'm kind of down in the dumps a little bit about that because I think that would have been a real amazing thing to attend.
There is so much talent out in Santa's, Mrs. Claus's, the elves out there. I mean, it is amazing. The mindset and the talent and the will to perform and to make the children happy. I mean, it is so commendable for so many that are out there. I mean, it is, and we are so fortunate now. We get to be able to get together with these people. When I first started in the '90s, there was none of this stuff. There was none of this stuff. So this is just a gift to be able to be a part of. So
Yeah, and then we go on to September the 10th with Phil Wentz, Santa's Village, East Dundee, Illinois, out of East Dundee, Illinois. And then the 24th, Larry and Sherry Davis. They're performing Santa and Mrs. Claus, alumni of North Pole Cornerstones and School of Santas. So, but those are both. Phil Wentz is going to be amazing, and if you haven't met Larry and Sherry Davis, they're another one to watch. So they're a great couple and very interesting, and it's just. I don't know where Bob pulls all these guests out of the wall work, but he does.
and he gets a hold of them, and of course, then he gets a hold of some. I mean, phenomenal guests. I mean, Phil, he's a walking computer, a history book when it comes to the Santa community and the history and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be amazing. Of course, then all the really cool, unique shows. I mean, they're all unique and wonderful shows. But then on October 22nd is the Tuesday Night Live, the 4th annual Roundtable. That'll be have a special guest panel. Santa's, Mrs. Claus's, elves. There'll be a little bit of everybody. Be able to ask questions too. And that's October 22nd. And of course, one of my favorite ones of the year is the 29th of October, the Halloween special, which is just a riot. We'll talk more about that, about how you can get registered to be a part of that. Come up with a costume. Like I said, Santa can't be Santa. Mrs. Claus can't be Mrs. Claus. But would love to have you. And there's always prizes for the best costume and all that. It was a riot. I agree, Santa's Chris. Very exciting that he's a great historian. Phil Wentz is a great historian on the business. Then it's kind of a sad note to say, but November 5th would be the last Tuesday Night Live of the year, of the season. So that takes another season to an end before we start working every day and night, making children happy. So that is November 5th. We have a few weeks in between there, and but man, it's amazing. It is amazing what's out there to hear from different things, and just the best part about it is go to YouTube. Even if you just watch a few minutes or a half hour of one of the shows, you come back later another day and watch. That's what's so convenient for everybody. It's
free. It's free. And when you go over on these other channels on YouTube, please subscribe. It helps us. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free to subscribe and like and share. And the more people we get sharing, liking, and subscribing, it helps us and helps keep us on the air.
Yeah, it will keep us going, just like and everything else. There we go. We got it on there. The different YouTube channels and all that. Tell a Santa friend of yours or a Mrs. Claus friend. Have you watched it? Are you a member of the club? Just let them know. We would appreciate it. But I guess it's just about time to do the answer. Do we have a winner there, Angela?
Oh, of course we do. Oh, I'm going
to all winners, Scott.
The magic potion. Angela, speak to me. Speak to me. The first initials a D.
D.
Speak to me. Oh, and the last name, the first initials a V.
Oh.
So would it be Diane Finn?
Diane Finn is the winner. Ooh, congratulations, Diane. Let's go over it again. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That came from The Santa Claus in 1994. The next one, quote, came from just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it. That came from The Nightmare Before Christmas in 1993. Man, two very cool quotes that are very, very close together, very close ideas. But um, congratulations, Diane. Of course, Santa Closet will send you out a goodie. You also are in the running. Your
North
another
Pole
name
Corner.
goes into the hat for North Pole Cornerstones. Also, let you know, guys. Talk about what North Pole Cornerstones. If you've got that chance, Mike Hutchins is doing a scholarship. He would prefer if a Canadian Santa or Mrs. Claus could get it, but he will give it to a U.S. Santa or Mrs. Claus. But there's a one there. So there's
North Pole Cornerstones has one.
North Pole Cornerstone. So three ways, three chances to get to North Pole Cornerstones. I mean, the class is for free there. Just got to travel. So that's amazing. So
But you
again,
got to win.
congratulations.
You got to
Diane.
win.
Yeah, you got to win though. But Diane's got her name in the hat, the chance to win because she got the right answers. Santa Claus, the Santa Claus, in 1994, and The Nightmare Before Christmas in 1993.
And they were both good movies.
You know what? I have a problem with The Nightmare Before Christmas. That guy just stealing Santa is kind of rough for me. I don't know. I mean, even though he gave Santa back,
Yeah, but the Santa Claus, he did a good job too. Tim Allen's amazing.
oh yeah, it was. Oh, the Santa Claus movies were. I mean, they were probably my favorite. I can watch them all year long. They just bring a smile to my face and just they're a lot of fun. So they are fun. So again, congratulations to Diane and yep, Charlie, 3 for free. That's right, 3 for free get to go. That's cool as can be. Congratulations, people. Well, I think it might be that time.
How about some Santa tips? You ready for
I
those?
might have to do some tips. Let's give it a shot.
All right.
See you in a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Santa's Tips. Thanks you again for allowing me to be able to have some fun with you folks and show you something. I had to back up a little bit because I'm going to show you a little fun routine. That's also fun to have Santa do, Mrs. Claus do, or of course an elf at any type of a gathering, and it's kind of an interactive one. You talk to the children about the colors of Christmas. Of course, you ask the children, you know what the color red. Where red is? Where is red? That's right. Oh, that's right on Santa's suit. And of course, oh, there's white. Where else is? Yes, in Santa's suit, there's furs. There's white. Of course, the white is the snow of his beard. Of course, very good. And of course, oh, you know what the tree? A green for the Christmas tree. And one of Santa's favorite things to do, of course, the star in a tree is, of course, gold. Now, this is actually a magic bag that Santa likes to use, and I'm going to make these colors change right before your very eyes. I want you to watch very, very closely. I'm going to put the red one here. In fact, I'm going to put the white one right on top of that. And this side, I'm going to put the yellow one and the red one. Green and white, yellow and red. Now watch very closely. The magic is wonderful, guys. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Look at that. They changed places. They switched colors. Oh, is that a... No. Well, maybe you didn't get the concept. This was originally the red and the yellow one. And this originally was the white and the green one. But I'm going to have them switch back. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, just like that. Bingo, bango, just like... I know. I'm just teasing you. But it is kind of fun to take all these wonderful colors of Christmas, and say some wonderful magic words. What magic words are we going to use today? Well, I'm going to use my favorite magic words of them all. Take and wiggle your fingers. Oh, yes, wiggle your fingers. Oh, say those magic words. Now, I should really ask you if you can keep a secret in learning some elf magic words. And that's what these are. These are elf magic words. You're going to learn some elfish here in a minute. Wiggle those fingers. Say those magic words, wee wee. Oh, they make me giggle every time I hear them. Woodgy woodgy, just like that. Now, remember I told you it would change. It would change terribly. It would change. Oh, wait a minute. It changed. It changed. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's a fun little, it's a very little routine. You don't have to do the beginning part, the switching, but I'd like to do it just to get the children wound up a little bit. Of course, they make different silks, of course, in different sizes. And maybe if you just want to get one that says Merry Christmas, if you don't want to buy a Santa. But it's we've talked about change bags many times. It's just it's got a little Velcro, and this just connects up here like this on Velcro each side. And but there's an extra pocket on the inside here. Whoops, sorry, there we go. And of course, these colors go in there. And I know you understand the trick about turning the bag around behind me, but it's just a fun little routine. It's visual. It's easy to carry. It can fill up time if you need something for a few moments, or you can take a little longer. You can start singing, especially if you get silk that says Merry Christmas on it. Oh, then start, we wish you a Merry Christmas, and it goes good into another song. But they're a fun routine. They can, something that packs flat, plays big. I know I joke about that all the time, but that's something we need. We have to carry so many things sometimes, or we need to make sure we're covered to have these with us. So, but you can get deeper into, whoops, I have a yellow silk here, don't I? There it is. I got to make sure I got them all together because I am going to need that. You can get these at a local magic store, change bag, or you don't have to use a pop-up one that you rip open. You can use a regular magic change bags that has little handle that switches, or we have the stocking change bag, which I've showed you before, but it's a lot of fun. Something easy to carry, especially for, great way to do this, especially with this one like this, is to introduce Santa. You have an elf or Mrs. Claus do it. And of course, you know who's next. Boom, you bring out the big Santa silk and then Santa comes. It's a great way to introduce Santa. Thank you very much, guys. As always, I am so thankful and so blessed to be able to show you these different things. Just Sunday, remember, get that mind thinking. That is our best thing to go to, is our imagination and our thought process about what we can do. We can make changes any way we want to these things. It just leaves just for our thought process and our mind to be able to have fun with it. Thank you again. See you soon.
Oh, as always, you always are bringing surprises, and very, very good, Randyl. Thanks for bringing those tips to us. And I guess we can move on and do Santa's Vintage Toy Vault.
Oh,
and,
this is cool.
Let's take a stroll down memory lane, guys, and take a look at 4 vintage toys this week from the 1970s. Well, hey, Randall, I think the only thing that's left out of all those would be the silly putty that you can still find. You might
The
find an
problem,
erector set in a science store, but
the problem is that silly putty, you can't put it on newspaper. Newspaper ink is differently now, so it doesn't peel off like you used to be able to do the comics. You used
yeah,
to be able to put the comics on there, and you'd stretch out, Casper's face and everybody, all those guys you had on there. But it's made of a different ink now, and I don't think do they even have comics? The funny section, the newspaper anymore?
I
What
don't
did I
know.
say?
I don't. Maybe one of our viewers can tell
Viewers
us.
can say, do they still have newspaper with the Sunday funnies? But easy bake ovens, I wonder if they still have. I was never good on the erector set. That was I'd lose those pieces. Those were
I always never could find all the nuts for the screws.
yeah. I never was. My brother had one, and he did that. He was a couple years older than me, so he was fine with that stuff. But yeah, good old silly putty. I miss that stuff. You just stretch it and then it snap at the last minute, and then you taste it and you're like, ugh. It would
My
taste
sister
horrible.
had,
But
my sister had the easy bake oven. Oh my goodness, those cakes never got done. That light bulb just did not bake
that
the cake very well.
that
But
60
it
or
was
100-watt light bulb was just not warm enough. Regardless if that cake was that thick, it still was not. But hey, it was a big thing. It's kind of funny. That was one of the big gifts in the Santa Claus the movie. That was a big gift. Like we showed last week, Rocket Sock and Robots were a big thing. But that was Easy Big Oven was a big gift in when he did that. But I mean, things like Raggedy Ann and Andy, I don't think you can even find them anymore, or even children even know what they are anymore.
well, the Generation Z and the millennials, I doubt it. Generation X might, but it's going to be the baby boomers for those.
Yeah, and I think you might be able to still get at a materials store, be able to make your own, maybe.
Right.
By McCall's or whatever. By whatever the pattern company is to do.
Said between my siblings and I, we had all those toys.
Yeah,
That's probably pretty close to all of us here today.
yeah. This age bracket, that's what we had. We didn't have. We weren't this all the time.
Yep.
We weren't this all the time. We were actually playing with toys and all that. So.
Well, do any of our other viewers have any other questions or anything to add to the show today?
Charlie said same thing between him and his siblings. All his they had all those toys. It's here. Charlie said, and now Deborah says, "Yep, all they want is an iPhone."
Yeah.
And maybe it's something we should ask. We should ask, how do you tell the child that we can't give them an iPhone. How do you folks tell the child, "Hey Bob, good to see you." How do you folks tell the child that you can't give them an iPhone unless you see mom in the background? It's okay.
Well, Randall, I'll tell you what I do if you'd like me to share that.
Sure, I'd love to.
What I do is I tell them, "Oh, I guarantee you I could probably bring that to you. However, we have a rule at the North Pole." I said, "I must have a handwritten letter on my desk by the 22nd from mom or dad by snail mail. It cannot be email." And now this is like the 20th when they're asking for it, when they've come to see me. And I said, if once it gets to the North Pole, then it has to go to the mailroom and be sorted. But keep in mind, we only get one wormhole that the mail comes through to the North Pole one day a week. So with that being factored, I'm not sure I'll get it in time. So what else would you like?
Yeah. It's we're not there we can't promise anything, of course, but we also can't tell the children no. We can't give our personal opinions that a 4-year-old, no, you're too young to get an iPhone.
That's not my judgment. I don't make that.
Yeah,
judgment.
it's not our job to judge that. I did ask the child a couple years ago. I said, "What are you going to do with the phone?" They go, "I'm going to play games." Well, what do you do with a phone? Play games. What do you do with a phone? Play games. What do you do with a phone? All it was is just a toy. It wasn't a phone to them. It's a toy.
And that's the other side, Randall, is that the first question I always ask them is, well, I could do that, but are you old enough to sign a contract? Are you over 18? And who's going to pay the bill? Dad. And they're back there saying no. And I said, well, if I get that letter signed by one of your parents saying that they're going to sign the contract and pay the bill, I will do my best to get it on the slate. And that's my way out of it now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with iPads and anything electronic pretty much.
Somebody will say, I usually do it with a television. Somebody says, I want a television. Well, you can have a television, but it'll kind of be the same as like a doorstop because I don't do the cable work. So you're going to, but Charlie says, remember, I'm a toy maker. If I gave you an iPhone, it would be a toy iPhone. Plus the elves are terrible electronic things.
Yeah.
Good thing to say that elves are terrible electronic things. That's a good little add into there. Good, Charlie. Patrick Moss says, I would say that the conversation with mom and dad, and should they approve, LOL, sure get the elves on it as soon we can deliver it to you.
Well, that's good too.
And then that's the thing. But and if mom and dad approve, if mom and dad gives you the high sign in the back,
I'll roll with it usually. Yeah.
Then it's fun to roll with it, but it is hard to but some of those toys like Bob's been showing here, that's the good old fashioned toys.
Yeah.
But like they said, like Deborah said, they just want iPhones now or iPads or
Well, I still get requests for Barbie dream houses or a dream bus or dream motorhome, whatever that thing is. And I still get that. And that surprises me, but it's still popular with the little girls. And by the way, hello, Patrick Moss from Houston.
Yeah, there's still a good amount of children asking for good old fashioned toys. And it's okay if it's, boy, now why can't I think of those guys, Pikachu guys? Why can't I think of what their whole concept is? Not just Pikachu. Oh my goodness. Charjar and all those characters that go along with and why can't I think of
they have to go find them?
Yeah, well, but it's they asked for that for Christmas, which are a great boy and girl card. They're like playing cards or their characters, which is a lot of fun to play with for guy, for them. That's a toy. But electronics are rough to, and of course now it's just getting younger and younger for children to get them. So it's but we have to stay Santa or Mrs. Claus and give them our rebuttal back why we can't guarantee or even a puppy, why you can't guarantee they want a dog. Well, we can't guarantee giving them a dog,
Well, I mean, I can bring them a stuffed dog. I said, okay, do you want a pink one or a blue one or what kind of stuffed dog do you want? Because they don't make it through the northern lights. It's so cold when we come out of the North Pole that they just don't make it. And oh my goodness, they're always trying to jump out of the sleigh. I can't do that.
Oh, it's a long ways up there, and there's many things we can say. Thank goodness they get them off the track, and then you ask them a question, and then you get them off the subject as quick as you can. But we still have to keep that memory that when they left, they were happy with what we said and everything else. And so, but yeah, it is fun. It is just a gift to be able to do this all the time for the children and their families, because when they leave and they got a smile or they get that picture, those memories are there for a lifetime, and that's what we need to do. That's our first goal. That's something we owe it to them, and everything else. So,
with that being said, I'm really sad because I think it's the time the show's coming to an end.
It is just about that time. Yeah, we got again had some great input with everybody. Thank you again so much for being a part of the show. Without you folks, it's Monday is rather boring. Nothing personal against Scott and I or Bob and I. Just talking, and we don't want to do that. We love your input. But again, congratulations, Diane, for winning and for everybody being here and your wonderful input. Anything else you need to say, Scott? Words of wisdom from Santa.
Well, I I don't have a whole lot of words of wisdom other than we want to ask you all to make sure you don't forget to tune in to TNL Network Productions complete new lineup of shows. 4 nights now, 4 nights. TNL Facebook groups, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Santa Magic Fellowship group on Thursday. Hey, Monday with Bob and Randyl, and Tuesday the Tuesday Night Live, and the Kringle Brothers, and then Santa Mail on Thursday. Oh my goodness! Hey, we want you to be a part of the TNL family and join us all 4 nights of the week. What else are you going to do? Fridays for you.
Yeah, that's right. You got all weekend. You got all weekend to spend time with the family. But tell a friend, tell somebody else in red, Mrs. Claus or Santa in red. Tell them, invite them to watch some of these shows. Erica and Sean on Thursday nights after Santa Mel's Magical Fellowship. So just all week long. And then they're all taped again. Anytime you got time to watch would be, and then click like and all those kind of goodies.
Well, Randyl, I want to thank Bob and you both, and Angela for allowing me to sit in today. It's been a blast as always. Great to see you. Great to spend a little over an hour with you, and I hope we can do it again. And I hope to see you on the trail sometime soon.
Soon. Thanks, guys. Again, thanks, Scott, for filling in. Bob, please get better. Hope you're feeling good. Angela, thank you as always for everything. We can't do this without you. Guess that's it.
See you next Monday.
See you next Monday. See you tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Live with iBurbs, new boards, and all that kind of stuff. Good night.
Have a happy Monday.